Let us find out in game number 1. If I can get to it. Aha! Now do note that these are anti-spoilered replays, so even though you see 7 games here, it does not necessarily mean that we will go to all 7 games. It is just because our lovely organizer, Mr. Ewa, has kindly anti-spoilered the replays for us. So, here we go. Game number 1. It's going to be on Icarus, a PVZ. Mazur versus Michael, NB versus GT. And spawning as the orange Protoss in the 3 o'clock position, not splitting his probes correctly. We do have Mazur. And in the 6 o'clock, as the brown Zerg, who seems to have split his drones correctly, we do have Michael. So, right off the bat, like if Michael was 4-pooling, that extra 2 minerals that Mazur lost from that would have been crucial. Seriously. Anyway. Okay. So let's see, these positions I actually kind of like for Mazur. Basically, I mean, as you can see, the back of Michael's main is kind of facing Mazur's natural, so it's going to be very easy for Mazur to do like Zealot or DT or whatever drops into Michael's main. Similarly, as Mazur is kind of poking out here with an army, he can kind of just take this bottom right base and secure it with his army while pushing towards the Zerg. So yeah, I'd say these spawning locations definitely decent for Mazur. On the other hand, Michael's expansion pattern will be decent for him. He's going to be expanding away from the Protoss, which is always what you want, or generally what you want. And anyway, we do have an overpool from Michael, and a standard Forge Fast Expand from Mazur. Not 100% sure about this placement. I guess if you put the gateway under that, it's not terrible. And I guess we'll see here. Now Mazur, I believe, is like number 3 on the IC Cup ladder or something with an A- account. I believe he's actually got a couple of accounts up there. I know he's got one of his Smurf IDs is like B+ or something. Michael, meanwhile, also has like a B+ account or something. So yeah, both very high level players. And both playing in a very important series right here. Oh, looks like Michael gonna take the 3rd as his natural, rather since his actual natural was blocked. But yeah, I mean, this week we actually have 2 really sick matches. Basically this match and Elarum versus Sass. Also, it's funny because Elarum versus Sass, which is going to be on Sunday and casted by Hacklebeast, it sounds really exciting, but I mean, as of right now, GT and NB are just tearing it up in the league. Of course, last season in the Gambits Cup Season 1, GT I think got taken out in the semifinals by Sass Noobs, the combined team of Sass and NB. But now they're just facing one half of that alliance, and well, I guess we'll see how they do. And oh, look at Mazur just denying the space for quite a bit here. Michael going up in the money, but yeah, I mean GT, if you didn't know, they're actually not like a quote-unquote real team. GT stands for Gambit Team. Basically, it's a team formed from all the top-level players who are not members of teams already playing in Gambit's Cup. So, for example, Michael, I believe, is currently on Team Specialist, Team SL, the Korean team, who signed up for Gambit's Cup Season 1, but just due to the time difference, they just couldn't really play it, because it was just like not a good time for Koreans, obviously, so they decided not to participate in this season. And so Michael is back on Team GT, and they are really tearing it up here, showing why they are Gambit Team. They are number 1 in the standings. And interestingly, I mean, but because of that, I mean, obviously most of the top players are already on their own teams, so the roster of GT is actually really, really small. They only have like 8 or 9 players in total, so yeah, not the biggest roster, but all very, very top-class players. Anyway, back to the game. Mazur just doing standard stuff, getting a Simonic score, now getting a second cannon. He's got to be a little bit careful. I think that's tight on the top, but it's not tight between the gateway and the forge, and obviously there's a bit of a big gap here underneath. Meanwhile, one probe still running around in the main. Gonna see nothing out of the ordinary just yet. Now, even though Michael, oh, by the way, Michael being very safe, just checking out with the Ling, making sure there's no proxy gates or cannons or anything like that. But you know, Michael, even though he's a very cheesy player and he's gotten some, you know, pretty spectacular wins off of high-profile players with cheese, he also, I mean, he can play a long game. It's not like, you know, he's one of those guys that just fails in the late game. He's actually just a very scary all-around player. So yeah, looking forward to a late game PvZ here on this map. Stargate down for Mazur. And looks like he's going to see the Spire there. Of course, the Lair was morphed at the third. And oh, look at this, Mazur. Always very, very aggressive with his early Zealots in this matchup. Has sent his initial Zealot out. Nice go— oh my god, do you see that? Wow, look at that control from Michael. He attacks just until his Zerglings both have one hit left, and then he suicides them. God damn it, Michael. I was about to say how amazing your Zergling control was, but it was still amazing. Because because it takes 3 shots for a Zealot to kill a Ling, right? So he takes 2 hits on the first Ling, pulls it back, takes 2 hits on the second one, and then pulls them both back. That was quite impressive, actually. Even though he just kind of wasted it, but you know, it was still good. So Michael going for a pretty quick second gas here indicates Mutalisks. Looks like one Ling sacrificing itself at the front. And oh, Mr. Probe gonna get taken down. Whoa, what is going on here? Looks like Mazur actually really scared of a Ling run by, and looks like his fears are correct, but Michael sees the probe pull and decides to pull back. Wow. Very, very nice. I mean, that is, although that is the general response, basically what happens is, if you're very aggressive with the early Zealots, Zergs will often overmake Lings, and once they kill the Zealots, then they have like a bunch of Speedlings and nothing to do with them, so they go for a counterattack on your natural. So that was very, very good good anticipation by Mazur. Meanwhile, the Corsair is going to go in here. First couple of Scourge are already about to pop though, so yeah, he's just going to be able to get a scout. Oh, nice reaction. And is this going to be Mutalisks? It looks like it is. Michael is saving up money. That is not bad macro. That is saving for Mutas, and looks like trying to sandwich the Corsair, and will get it without wasting another Scourge. So that's going to be a little bit dangerous. I don't think Mazur actually saw the second gas. His first Corsair was turned back over here. So I don't know if he'll be ready for these Mutas. He's only got 1 cannon in each mineral line. It's going to be quite risky. Another Ling just sent to scout out the front. He's going to see a nice wall here, so no way he can attack that with Lings anymore, but these Mutas could just be so good. Oh man, is he getting an upgrade? He's not getting an upgrade, but he doesn't need one. He's getting his 5 hatcheries, but there's like no anti-Muta defense. No, looks like Mazur is continuing Corsair production, but he's only got 2 right now, and the Mutas are on the way. I think the third Corsair might barely be out by the time the Mutas get in, but this is going to be really, really tricky for Mazur to deal with. Looks like a DT is on the way. And here come the Mutas into the natural. Taking down the first cannon, easy peasy. Oh man, Mazur, he's got to bring out his Corsairs. He's bringing out only 2 Corsairs and no more cannon to support. He should bring back the Dragoon to help out a little bit at least. Yeah, he's going to bring back the Dragoon. He's got to be very, very careful not to get his Corsairs scourged. And Michael just content to kind of abuse this clip over the natural, do some nice micro. And looks like we're going to have a bit of an engagement. Michael's got to be careful though. The Corsairs, of course, very, very good against Mutas. Did Mazur send back his probes? He didn't send back his probes to the natural yet. Oh no, it looks like Mazur wasn't paying attention. Going to lose 2 of his Corsairs to the Mutalisks and Scourge. However, Michael now not the one not paying attention. Going to take a few free cannon shots here. Meanwhile, the DT running down, going to try and run into the main here, but Michael seems to be aware of this. He's bringing this Overlord back to the natural to help defend. I mean, this is a very good move, and oh no, Mazur's going to lose the DT out in the field to the Mutalisks. But, you know, this DT play is so good against Mutas just because the Zerg players spend so much APM and attention on the Mutas that if you somehow manage to get a DT into his main, he can actually just lose everything in his main without even realizing. Meanwhile, Mazur just cannoning up his mineral lines, but he's already taken a lot of damage, and he might actually lose a Templar as it pops out from this gateway. That would be terrible for him, and looks like he's just trying to go after these Corsairs, taking some more damage, so he's got to be careful. These Mutas are actually getting low on health, and yeah, he's going to lose a couple of Mutas there, just run away, but very nice Overlords, just kind of a ring of Overlords all over the place. Scouting around, he's got his Hydras, he's getting his Hydra upgrade, so transitioning nicely out of the Mutalisk play, and Mazur, I'd say, is definitely on the back foot here. He's actually behind on supplies at 57 against 70 of Michael. He's getting an Archon now, but the Hydras are on the way. Is he not going to have a Storm? Did he even get Storm? I don't even know if he got Storm. He's getting another High Templar now, but oh man, this could be really bad. These Hydras, Michael could actually just go for the bust right here. I think that's what he's planning to do. And here we go. The Hydras, Lings, and Mutas moving in here. There's no Storm to help out. Mazur just could get taken down here very, very quickly with some nice Muta play into Hydras from Michael. It's going to be close. The Storm does get out, but it looks like it's not quite enough. A nice Storm finishing off the Mutas. But a bunch of Hydras left in the natural, and GG from Mazur. Michael taking out the PVZ specialist and putting Team GT up 1-0 here. GT in the #1 spot and already taking the lead. Gambit's team is looking unstoppable. Alright. Very, very nice game. So, let us go on to game number 2. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2. Set number 2